Hello and welcome to our very first Star Sweeper Advancing Women's Voices podcast. Today is our launch day to share with the world what Star Sweeper is. I would love to introduce one of the founding mothers, I guess.
Mothers, yeah, the founding mothers.
The founders of Star Sweeper. We have Janet Langmeyer with Phoenix Soaring, and then myself, Erin Bear, with Beaten to Badass. And Janet and I are so excited to introduce you to Star Sweeper, something that is very close and near and dear to our hearts, something we are very passionate about. And I'm going to go ahead and hand the floor over to Janet so she can kind of introduce you to Star Sweeper, and we will go from there. And thank you for joining us today.
And put us out on Facebook so I can pick it up and there it is, that we're live. To our very first, so let's try to find you guys and trying to find everybody and get us going and be able to share it with the world. So Erin and I and Catherine Heppola, who is one of the other founders who couldn't be here today, had this idea. And dreams start with an idea. And when we get an idea, we either give it life or we don't give it life. And this was kind of noodling around for us. And both of us get out and speak. Catherine gets out and speaks. You do, I do. We find ways in our lives where we are invited to speak to groups or in our teaching and our coaching and other kinds of things. And we started to recognize that women don't always get their due when it comes to their speaking opportunities. And we're not just talking about platform speaking or being on a stage. We're talking about sitting in a meeting, maybe in the company that you work in, sitting in a meeting, and how much time do you get a chance to talk, or do you have to wait to talk? Now, maybe you are conducting the meeting, and that's great. What about your HOA group or a school group? So we started looking at that and going, we wanted to find a way to give a platform to women to not only be able to have their voices heard, but to also have a place to practice, a safe place to build their skills. So we came up with this idea called Star Sweeper. It's really a childhood thought of Erin's, and when she said it to me, it's like, oh, I love it. And of course, advancing women's voices is our tagline because that's our goal, our mission, and we'll pull all that up here in a minute. But we started to have this vision of being able to help women ages 13 to 18 is one category, and women 19 and up is another category, so that we can start to learn from a very young age to express, speak up, and get our voices heard, and also have a safe environment in which to practice and build those skills, because they are skills and they can be learned and you can develop them. Erin, you want to show them a little bit about what we came up with for Star Sweeper?
Absolutely. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you guys, and we're going to just kind of walk you through it. So give me one moment.
I'm trying to share this. Why will it not let me do that?
PowerPoint with you guys, and we're going to share it. Through it. So give me one moment. All right. So we're going to go through a slideshow. And we want to explain what Star Sweeper is and how you can get involved. There's multiple ways. Janet, do you want to lead this?
Sure, I can go ahead. You've got the power, so you just go ahead and click to the next page. This is our mission: advancing the voices of women of all ages across all areas of society through practical communication experiences, educational programs, and events. And our vision is that every woman has a voice and every voice is heard. So that's not only in speaking, but also written communication and, in live speaking on platforms or events, as well as online. Next. This is the three of us who came up with this idea. And you've met Erin, you've met me, and at some point in the near future, you will meet Catherine. She's a fireball and an amazing speaker, and has a lot of she's the program director, so she has a lot of ideas about the programs that we're developing. We don't have a picture of our newest advisory board member, Sydney Jackson Clarkson, but that happened before we had a chance to change the PowerPoint. So we'll let you know that later. So we're going to start out with a book project, a way to raise money and to raise voices at the same time. So we would like to invite you or someone you know who may want to our new book project. And our new book project is called, the name of the book is called We Will Always Rise, 100 Women Speak Up, Get Loud, and Fight Back. And this is really the opportunity for you to be able to participate, to speak up. And we are looking for 100 women from ages 13 and up to speak up. And we'll go ahead to the next slide. We'll tell you how you can get involved in this. The ways that you can contribute to the book project. You can be one of the authors, you can support an author, or you can donate to the organization in order to support an author and our other activities. In this book, We Will Always Rise, 100 Women Speak Up, Get Loud, and Fight Back, we would ask the authors to submit a minimum of 800 words to a maximum of 1,000 words. So it's really an essay. You title your chapter, you will have author credit. Because we're a not-for-profit, although it's going to be a self-published effort through a local publisher here that we have worked with before, we're asking for a minimum entry fee of $500 with your chapter. Your $500 can be raised. Because we're a not-for-profit, we have a donor box, and you can help, other people can help you raise the money to be able to get your entry into the book, and that will also raise money for Star Sweeper and pay for this project. Because we are working with a professional publishing house, so you'll get professional editing, formatting, cover design, and publishing. The entire thing will be professionally published. You will, as an author, have access to purchase additional author copies at a price that's lower than the retail price of the book. Then you will also be able to link, if you have a website, we'll put that in the book, your website or your social media access. So whether or not you have a website or not, you'll be able to put your social media access, and that'll be in your book as well. You will then be also featured on our Star Sweeper website and on upcoming Star Sweeper podcasts. So all the authors, we want to invite them into this opportunity to speak up, not only in writing, but also live here on this podcast. The funds that we raise will be there to publish the book, and it will also support other Star Sweeper Advancing Women's Voices events. Erin, you want to take the next one? So the ways that you can get and support the book project. Spread the word. Let other women you know, people who are looking for an opportunity to write, to participate, let other women know about this. We're happy to have men support us, but the voices will all be women's voices. And women who identify as women. This is open to everyone, every background. It makes no difference. You can become a member of the book launch team and host a book launch party, either live or online. You could write a testimonial for one of the authors that you might know, or for the book once you read it. You can share posts on that we put out on Star Sweeper, or that the authors put out to help spread the word. And you can join our Facebook community. And it's hard to read the link, but if you go into Facebook and join our community, that will help it spread, right? And then you can donate to the book project, and we really appreciate that. You can help support an author's entry, you can help raise funds for the author, or you could create a fundraising event to help get the word out. Next slide. Some of the things we're thinking about are the future event is a Women's Speakers Summit. And we are exploring what that would be like to have it live here in Colorado, perhaps even hybrid, but there's a lot to learn about what to do with that technology-wise. So if you are someone who is technology savvy and you'd like to get involved with Star Sweeper, we want to hear from you, because there's a lot of people. It takes a village, as they always say, and it's going to take a village to be able to support this. The categories are women ages 13 to 18, women ages 19 and up. So there's 2 categories. There is a professional coaching mentors on the panel, so that when you speak at the summit, you will get feedback from other coaches and mentors. And it'll also be not only on your presentation, but learning how to use a microphone, learning how to use your body on stage, learning how to use other types of props and things like that on stage. We also have a videographer who has already offered to donate her services to video each of the speakers, and then you would receive a video of your own speech from the summit. There are 3 levels of participation. Perhaps you're an apprentice speaker or you've never spoken at all. So you're novice, you want to get started, you want to learn about speaking. That's one level. The next level is a craftswoman, someone who does some speaking, not necessarily professionally, but wants to improve their skills, is looking to improve. And a journeywoman is someone who is already a speaker, but is always looking for opportunities to polish their skills and to have a platform to speak. So the summit is something we're working on. The chances are that it'll either be this fall or early spring. A lot of that has to do with how much money we can raise to get this up and off the ground. Erin? If you want to become an ally, and we really invite you to become an ally, there's many ways. You can sponsor an author, you can sponsor a speaker, you can sponsor a vendor table at an event, you can sponsor the whole event, you can sponsor part of the event. You can sponsor some of the awards. And we are working on building a scholarship fund. So another reason that we're looking to raise money. You can be a donor. You can just donate money every week, every month, every quarter, or annually. You can become a founding donor, and we're going to try to find something special for founding donors. And as I said, we want to build a Star Sweeper Scholarship Fund. You can volunteer. We're going to need people to help put on events, both live and online. And you can volunteer to help with the fundraising as well. We're looking for people who are willing to go out and talk to schools. And if you're somebody who knows how to do that, knows how to talk to schools or organizations, we'd love to hear from you and help us take the message. Obviously, we would work with you to get that together. We're also looking for women's organizations representatives. If you're already in a women's organization, we are really wanting to reach out to women's organizations to help us support these young and upcoming speakers, as well as, it doesn't matter what age you are, it matters about your desire, right? So whether you're going to raise your voice in writing and participating in this first book, or you want to raise your voice in speaking and participating in the summit or some of the workshops that will be coming up in this next year, we're looking for people to help us spread that word. Next slide. This is our website, www.starsweeper.org. Please feel free to go there. You can donate. Now, here's the thing. If you want to become an author and you want to raise $500, our donor box lets us set up with you your own link. And so you could be raising funds directly to that link. It'll go directly to Star Sweeper, to the book fund, and you would get credit for it. And the people who donate would also get credit for it. So we can acknowledge all the people who are supporting this work. So go to our website to find out about that, or reach out to us directly and we'll help you get that started. We are a Colorado 501c3 not-for-profit organization. We actually incorporated on my birthday last year. It was a big birthday. And so we'll always remember what day we started this whole crazy notion that we have of helping women to advance their voices. We hope there's people out there watching and maybe have some questions.
So Holly had joined us, and she said that, what did she say? She said, this is a great thing you're doing. Thank you for creating this platform. We're really excited about it. I do want to take a moment and I want to thank some of our sponsors, and I'm going to put them across the screen. So thank you to our sponsors. I actually have sponsored for Star Sweeper. So I'm with Beaten a Badass, Erin Bear. I'm all about starting the conversation, implementing change, giving back, and raising awareness. And then we've got Janet Langmeyer with Phoenix Soaring, and she's also a speaker and coach, as well as an author. And she is about helping you find joy in your life, creating a vision-driven life, and living the life that is meant for you, not for anybody else. And then we have Wave Gods. The Wave Gods, they are a jeweler maker, and they were actually our first sponsor outside of Janet and I and Catherine. Catherine actually has sponsored a little bit too. And they were going to join us today. I'm not sure if he had something come up, but it actually is our first male sponsor, which we're really excited about. And they're going to be creating a jewelry piece for us. And I really wanted him to talk about it, but I'm going to let Janet kind of briefly touch on it.
Yeah, we want to thank Michael Madral. He and his brother have a company called the Wave Gods, and they are jewelers. And we met them early this spring, and they were just amazing young men. And he just handed us money and said, I want to support this. I just really believe in women's voices. And so our very first donor, other than the founders, Erin, Catherine, and myself, our very first donor was a guy. And we just really want to thank him for that. And then he said, I want to create a jewelry piece that's just for Star Sweeper. That's something unique. So we're really excited about it, and we will, we'll unveil more about that when we talk with Michael. We talked with him yesterday. He had planned to be on the show with us today, and something has come up and he's not able to be here. But we want to thank him, acknowledge him, and also build some excitement, because we think we've seen the kind of jewelry work that they do, and we think this is going to be a wonderful, fine piece of jewelry that you're going to proudly want to wear. And of course, it'll be a fundraising opportunity for Star Sweeper, as everything we do is. But it's also, it has two purposes always. You always want to raise funds to keep it going and be able to raise the consciousness and have the experiences that allow more people to get involved in advancing women's voices.
It's very exciting. I'm very excited about it. We also have a favor to ask of you. We have a YouTube. This is actually streaming to our YouTube channel, my Facebook, our Star Sweeper Facebook, and then we're sharing it to our networks. And we'd like to invite you to subscribe. We want you to subscribe to our YouTube. I'm putting the link in the comments right now. And we want to customize it. We want it to be, www.youtube.com/Star Sweeper. So if you could go to that link and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. That just helps us support what we're doing, get the word out to people that we may never have met before. So if you could subscribe to that, that would be great. You can also join our Facebook community. I put the link in the comments as well. We just have a lot of exciting things that we're just wanting to share with you, pour out service to you. And, we have the book project, we have the nonprofit for the speaking platforms and educational workshops that will be coming into play. We're not just going to say, hey, let's go compete on stage and see how good you are at speaking. We actually want to hone your skills. We want to have workshops and summits and ways of learning where women feel comfortable and they're not feeling like they're being judged or downgraded by others. And it's all about really advancing your voice, rising up. And that's why we chose the Star Sweeper as our name for our nonprofit, because it's something that's been on my mind ever since I was a child. My mom always called me the Star Sweeper. I would tell her that I was going to go sweep the stars so they would shine at night. And so when I told Janet, hey, Star Sweeper, she's like, oh my God, I love it. She talked about that. And I was like, really? You don't think it's
I
great?
remember we texted it. We were talking, she and I were talking on the phone like 100 miles an hour, and we texted it over to Catherine, and she's like, oh, you nailed it. That's the right thing. It's like we could feel the energy of the star sweeping and all of the people working in this constellation that we call Star Sweeper. Everybody's got a star, everybody's got something to shine. And we sort of got caught up in that whole notion. So we're probably going to create some categories of donors that are going to be part of the Star Sweeper, constellation, and have different levels that are fun. We want to have fun with this, and we want to enjoy the service that we're doing. We want you to enjoy it. And yes, we do intend to have some competitive stuff going on. But it'll be a choice. Not everybody has to do that. You can do the workshops. You can be part of the summit without competing, but you can also compete. And we have already sort of envisioned a Star Sweeper award that we're excited about. So there's a lot that we're doing. This is brand new, but we've been giving it a lot of thought for a long time. And so then when we incorporated it back in November and made it real, and to be really honest with you, the Supreme Court decision is what kicked us into doing it today.
Yes. And we've been working on this for 9 months, and we just didn't know when we should launch it. We're like, well, it'll come to us. And then boom, last week, we're like, okay, it's time. We will always rise as women. We want to speak up. We got to get loud, and we got to fight back. And that's not in a hostile way. It's in a very positive way, using our voice for what it is and what it can do, and how to come together as a constellation, because all of us are a part of this constellation, and there can't be a constellation without the individuals that are a part of this. And that's what I think is so beautiful about it, is that we can't have it without us. We can't have it without you, and we need you. We want you to be an ally. We want you to be a donor. We want you to be a sponsor and really come on this journey with us. And that's what it's really about. It's a journey. It's not just a one and done thing. It's a journey.
Right. Well, and we have high ideals. I mean, the idea of building a scholarship fund, learning how to raise money, all of these things are new. And that's why we're reaching out to you, the community who care about women, who care about young women as well, and help us to cultivate a safe environment to practice and hone our skills of both writing and speaking and presenting our ideas, whether you're presenting it at your child's PTA organization, or you're at I know like Erin's on the HOA board for her organization. or if you're maybe you just got asked to speak at a church organization, or at work, you have to make a presentation, or you're sitting in a meeting and you've got a thought. I mean, it doesn't matter what the format is. Learning how to speak extemporaneously, learning how to plan. And we're not talking about teaching you to speak long platform TEDx type things. That's down the road, and we already know speakers who do some of that, and that's fine. And we're talking about learning how to speak in ways where you might really be invited. And most of us know, and Erin speaks at a lot of places, and I do too, you don't usually get more than about 5 minutes. Unless you're asked to do a keynote or a presentation, you really only have, usually you're asked to do 2 to 5 minutes. It's actually harder to talk for a short period of time than it is to talk for a longer period of time. You have to have your thoughts together. They have to be succinct. You have to be able to make your point and do it clearly with less words, right?
Exactly.
So that's what our focus is, to help build the foundation and have fun doing it, and have some awards, have some acknowledgement, and build a community.
And what I think is great is that you're going to have this network behind you and everything that you do that'll watch the podcast that you're invited to, or watch the talks, or get involved in the events that you're involved in. And you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to say, well, I don't have the money. You can create a donor page through our donor box. You can have your own campaign and fundraiser. You don't have to worry about being a middleman. You just share it with the world, and they can help, sponsor and donate to Star Sweeper. And what I think is also wonderful is that we are inviting you to be a part of our podcast. And I'm going to put the email in the comments. If you are interested in being featured on our podcast, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Just reach out to us, let us know, because we hope to have guests every single week on our podcast of women and possibly men. And
our first guest was supposed to be a guy.
Right. Like, the sponsor was not supposed to be a guy, and we were shocked, and we're like, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. But we want to advance women's voices. We want your story to be out there. We want what you're doing to empower women to be shared with the world. And this is a perfect platform for that, as well as our workshops, our events, and our summits. And so if you are interested, I'm going to go ahead and put that email in the comments below, and just send us an email. Let us know about you. Learn about us. Go on our website and subscribe, and we'll keep you up to date with everything that we're doing. Our website is still brand new, so we'll be adding more to that. And we just want to invite you into our constellation. Tribe, the word tribe has been overused. And I think constellation really goes beyond what a tribe is. And it's really something that is long lasting. And it's something that we need everybody to be a part of to sustain and shine brightly.
Well, you know what? When we see a star, right? When we see that light of that star, that light started a long time ago, and it's still shining. And our hope for our constellation is that this is the beginning, but it's going to keep shining well beyond us, that we build a legacy of supporting women's voices and advancing women's ideas. So this book will be an opportunity for women to speak up, for them to write. We're not looking for anger. That doesn't mean we aren't angry, but we can find ways to speak clearly from that place so that we're heard. We want to be heard. Now, Erin just did a book collab, and that book is going to be coming out in September, and it's called The Badass Within. Erin's brand, of course, is Beaten to Badass. And she pulled together, is it 15, 16 authors?
I think it's a total of 15 women, including myself.
They're all women. And she's calling it, this book is called The Badass Within. And these women have all been invited. And if you didn't get your invite, ladies, you get in touch with us. We've invited all the women from The Badass Within to this podcast, because in reality, they've already started the conversation of advancing women's voices under that particular book. And Erin always donates a percentage of the proceeds from all of her projects to a charity. So Star Sweeper will get some of that, as well as some other charities that she supports. And yes, the same thing is true for all of our events, of course, that we are doing are for raising money for Star Sweeper. So help an author. There's somebody in your life who has always wanted to be an author, who's always wanted to write. They've got a story to tell, or you have a story to tell. An 800 to 1,000 word story is an essay. Now, maybe it's been a day or two since you've taken the time to sit down and write an essay. Remember that this is going to be professionally edited. There's going to be feedback for you to be able to develop your thoughts. If we say 1,000 words, it's not 1,001. I will be honest with you that way. One of the things we've learned from doing publishing, When the publisher says that this is how many words, that's how many words you get. So right now they're telling us we can do 800 to 1,000. If they tell us it's 800, we'll all have to learn how to edit and bring ourselves down by 200 words, right? But that's the plan. And this first 100 women, and then think about it, ladies and gentlemen, 100 women speaking up and saying we will rise. We always rise. And we've got voices and we've got a way to do it. And with 100 women, we should be able to go to bestseller. Getting bestseller on Amazon can be done. Erin's got 3 books that you've done that are bestsellers on Amazon. I've been a part of 2 books that are bestsellers on Amazon, and it makes a difference. So
it does. And our next book that's coming out in September will be a bestseller. Mark my word.
So be a part of what we see as being a bestseller, not only for you personally to be part of, but to advance the voices of women and to get the word of Star Sweeper out. So we see that this actually hits on many levels. It gives the individual author an opportunity to shine. It gives us an opportunity for Star Sweeper to shine and to let the community know what Star Sweeper is about, so we can start getting the workshops funded and the summit funded and get technology going so that we can become an online presence. Because there's one thing to put a Zoom thing together. There's another thing to put on an online event. That is a class event. So we're learning and we're asking for your help and your input, because this is ground floor, people. And how often do you get an opportunity to bring your voice into the constellation of something new and make it bright and shiny, the constellation that we call Star Sweeper?
So yes, we're very excited. If you have not caught the vibe of how excited we are, and we would invite you. We want you to be a part of this. If you are interested, either comment below, let us know, or reach out to us at info@starsweeper.org. Also, please, if you're watching, let us know where you're from, who you are. We want to learn about you. We want to learn about our audience. And remember, subscribe, become part of our constellation on Facebook. That's all I really have to say. I'm just really excited about it. We'll see you guys next Friday. And obviously this is the time that we picked, but that could change depending, on what different things. But 10:15 Mountain Daylight Time, Colorado, we will be here. And we hope to have a guest.
Yes.
We have a couple of people lined up. And I'm hoping we can get a specific person, since she is on our advisory board, to join us. So
yes, did you hear us, Sydney? Sydney, if you didn't know it already, we want you to be live with us next week. And also we have to actually schedule our other partners. So we want to get our other partner, Catherine, live on one of these as well. So in the future, we'll continue to unveil our advisory board as that becomes, so there's a lot. You're really in on the ground floor of something that's growing. Think about this, planting this seed, advancing women's voices. Look at the beautiful blooms that are going to be coming about because of this. And the stars in the sky, right? It's exciting. Yeah. But there's more, and how you start is you put a stick in the sand and you start, and then you learn you can always move the stick, but you got to get started. And that's what we decided to do today.
So thank you very much for watching, liking, loving, commenting, and we hope that you will be on this journey with us, and we will see you next week. So until then, remember, you are a star. We just need to let you shine.
See you next week.